Hi, my name's Luis Antema. I'm the co-founder of Reducept and also a healthcare psychologist, and I've been working with people who suffer from chronic pain for the last few years. About 2 years ago, I met Redefining, with whom I've started this project. The project Reducept. Reducept is meant for people who suffer from chronic pain. And chronic pain is a huge issue in Western countries, because about 1 of 5 adults suffers from it. And it's been in the news quite a lot lately, especially the overuse of opioids, such as oxycodone, has been in the news very negatively. What we've seen the last decades is that chronic pain has become a bigger and bigger issue. And in ways of treatment, we've started treating it more and more somatically, often medically. And it doesn't seem to have solved the issue. Instead, more than ever, people who suffer from chronic pain complain they don't feel adequately treated, as we see in this European statistic. But also, the average number of healthcare professional visits each year seems to grow higher and higher. So we see that chronic pain is not only a huge issue for the patient itself, but also a very big burden for a lot of healthcare systems with huge costs involved. When we look at the issue of chronic pain, it's interesting to see that already in 1979, the International Associations for the Study of Pain declared that pain is an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience associated with actual or potential tissue damage, or described in terms of such damage. It's an interesting idea that states that pain is not only a sensory but also an emotional experience, and tissue damage is not needed to feel pain. Here's an interesting example. The story happened really, and it's about a construction worker who stepped on a nail. He stepped on the nail and he saw the nail, getting right out of the other side of his boot. And of course, the man was in severe pain. He screamed for help, his colleagues came to help him, and he was taken to the hospital with an ambulance. At the hospital, he went to the surgery room, got a narcosis, and when they were performing the surgery, they cut open the shoe and they saw the nail was sticking right between his toes. So the nail had never touched anything off his foot. There was no tissue damage, but still, this man felt a lot of pain. Now, when we look at how this works, we see the idea of pain has changed hugely the last couple of decades. Back in the 16th century, we thought that, if there's tissue damage, it will probably lead to a couple of signals that travel towards the brain, and the brain will create pain according to the amount of signals. And what we know now is that not the signals that travel up to the brain decide the pain experience, but there are a lot of factors involved. For example, where someone's attention is, how someone's mood is, if someone has prior pain experience. So you can see that in the case of the construction worker, although there was no tissue damage, there was a lot of emotion, thoughts, attention, and pain behavior that created a pain experience. And now we see the same problem with chronic pain. In chronic pain, there are a lot of people who have pain experiences, but we cannot explain these experiences as purely from a somatic standpoint. So what we see with chronic pain is that a lot of patients are having attention, emotional, cognitive, or prior experience problems that make the brain decide there is pain. So we could say that if the brain concludes there is danger, it will create pain. But the conclusion of danger does not come solely from the input of the body. Now this gives a lot of room for treatment of chronic pain in a non-somatic and non-medical way. And although it gives a lot of room for this, we see the amount of treatment patients with chronic pain report that is not somatic or not purely medication is quite low. Where most of the patients report they've tried medication or several different medicine. For example, when we look at psychotherapy or even hypnotherapy or TENS, the numbers are a lot lower. And the interesting thing is that this is not in line with our international guidelines. with our international guidelines describing patients should receive education and pain management before they get a more somatic version of the treatment. With Reducept, we look at this problem. And we said, well, if there's one thing we can do with the knowledge we have, is see if we can create a scalable version of a pain management therapy that can actually educate people about pain and train their coping skills so that they can learn to deal with pain better themselves and gain influence on the pain without any side effects. So we created a training in which patients travel through their own nervous system. And during this journey, they do several exercises that really have an influence on the brain. In fact, we've designed Reducept in such a way that patients will keep feeling in control and safe over their pain. And control and safety is the opposite of the danger signals or the danger interpretation the emotional brain of patients with chronic pain has given so far. So you might say it's an emotional antidote to the alarm system in the brain of the patient. What this has done for a patient is of course best described by a patient herself. So you'll see a short movie of Jolanda, who tells about her experience with Reducept.
Ja, ik heb zeker last van pijn. Vooral tussen mijn schouderbladen. Heel veel pijn. En ik weet gewoon dan niet meer hoe ik moet liggen.
Reducept is a virtual reality training for people who suffer from chronic pain. It teaches them how to handle the pain themselves better, and it teaches them how pain works in their body. Patients use Reducept by using a virtual reality headset and training with this headset every day. It takes them through a program in which they train several skills and get education on chronic pain. And by using it daily for a period of about 3 to 4 weeks, we notice people really improve with how they handle their pain.
Uiteindelijk ben ik bij de huisdokter terechtgekomen en heb ik medicijnen gekregen. Maar van die naproxen had ik bijwerkingen en daar wilde ik heel graag weer van af.
Why I would recommend Reducept is mainly because it's a training that doesn't have any side effects. We see so many treatment options for chronic pain that have side effects that range from small to severe.
Ik kon me niet voorstellen dat ik schieten leuk vond, maar ik vind het fantastisch. Het is echt het leukste gedeelte. En dan ben je gewoon echt heel fanatiek bezig met op die prikkels aan het schieten. Het is puur, ik pak het omdat het helpt, maar ik heb nog nooit spelletjes op de computer. Patience heb ik wel eens gedaan, maar nee, ik ben absoluut geen gamer.
I think the most important aspect is that Reducept offers patients a really visual journey through the nervous system. It's a really intense and fun way to learn about pain, and it's something I would never be able to offer to my patients. So we're noticing the way of learning how pain works is much more engaging and fun than I could ever offer.
Ik had het niet van een game verwacht dat ik daar minder pijn van zou krijgen. En misschien wel op het moment dat je het speelt, omdat je afgeleid wordt. Maar omdat ik 's nachts pijn heb, was ik daar best wel sceptisch over. Zo van, gaat dit mij helpen? Maar ja, ik heb in een week mijn pijnmedicatie afgebouwd. En ik kon doorslapen.
Our goal with Reducept is to create really accessible and affordable education and pain management for anyone in the world who suffers from chronic pain.
Ik heb dan heel veel tussen de schouderbladen last. Daar kan ik zelf niet of nauwelijks bij komen. En ik heb Reducept gewoon thuis, de VR-bril thuis. Dus ik kan elk moment dat ik tijd heb en pijn heb, kan ik dat ding opzetten. En dat vind ik ideaal.
Reducept is suitable for everyone who has long-lasting or chronic pain. And that's because our pain system works the same. It's identical for you and for me. And the way of regulating it is also the same. So the skills in regulating pain are the same for everyone. And that's why anyone with chronic pain can use it.
Ik gun het iedereen om dat uit te proberen. Omdat je, als je hetzelfde effect krijgt als wat ik heb gehad, ja, dan schiet je daar zo enorm mee op. En ik zou het zeker aanraden. Ja.
We notice improvements with patients who play Reducept, mainly because they tell us. And what they're telling us is that it really makes them feel more in control of their own pain. It makes them feel as if they have the skills themselves to do something about their pain. And that really makes them more confident and relaxed in dealing with their pain problems. So in this short movie, Yolanda talked about her experiences with Reducept. And in Reducept, as I described previously, we've included pain management and education. Now, when we look at the pain management in Reducept, there are several exercises, psychology exercises, that have been redesigned in the context of virtual reality. Also, the pain theory in Reducept is all modern, up-to-date pain theory that's been used in international and national guidelines. And the way we created Reducept is called design research. Before creating Reducept, we really looked at the needs of the patient. What goals does the patient, him or herself, have? What do they want to achieve? And what we noticed with Reducept before we created it is that patients reported they really feel the need to understand how their pain works, and they really want to gain influence and control on their own pain. And when we look at the different parts of Reducept, there's an overarching story of a journey through the nervous system. So patients really dive into their own nervous system. They go to the nerve pathways, spinal cord, brain, and alarm system. Every part of the gameplay has its own exercise. So for example, in the first gameplay, it's all about visualization. In the second type of gameplay, it's about relaxation. In the third gameplay, it's about cognitive exercises. And in the fourth gameplay, it's about mindfulness. In this way, we're including a lot of different types of exercises, and we see that some patients prefer the one exercise and some patients the other. Just as in real therapy, we see some people gain more from relaxation, where other patients gain more from visualization exercises, for example. So you might think, is Reducept suitable for my patients? When we look at the international guidelines for chronic pain, the guidelines state that pain management and education is actually highly recommended for every patient who suffers from chronic pain, and that it even should be applied before a patient undergoes a somatic treatment. Now, when we look at the patients we've seen being treated with Reducept, we often see that especially patients who have somatic unexplained pains or pain that stays despite somatic interventions, or patients that really stick to a somatic view of their pain or have complex and diffuse pain, really benefit from Reducept. For them, it's really crucial to get a more accurate definition of pain and really improve their pain coping skills, which Reducept does. When we're looking at sessions, we measured over 3,000 sessions with Reducept in the first half year of 2019, and during those sessions, over 77% of the patients reported a decrease in pain scores when they were playing. And currently we're doing more research with the Radboud University Hospital in an RCT to really see what the long-term effects of that are. So when a clinic starts using Reducept, they not only get Reducept, the VR intervention, but also a dashboard. And this dashboard is for the pain professional. Pain professionals can create unique patient profiles in this dashboard, have all the data in one place, and the dashboard will generate automatic reports for the pain professional. Currently, we're working with a lot of pain clinics, university hospitals, physical therapies, psychologists, and here are some of the hospitals we're collaborating with. And in terms of awards, we've been awarded both in healthcare and in serious gaming nominations. We've won 2 Serious Play Awards in the 2019 International Serious Play Award ceremony. And in 2018, Accenture named as the best European health tech innovation. When you use Reducept in healthcare, you get the ability to have unique patient profiles, and everyone who uses Reducept, so every pain professional, gets an online training. There are also video coach sessions available for professionals. Reducept uses a dashboard, which I've shortly told about, and there are several services, technical services we offer for clinics that use Reducept. Also, we're really open for research collaborations. So if you have any questions about research or collaborating in research, don't hesitate to contact us. To get into contact with us, you can always visit www.reducept.com. For business development, you can email hille@reducept.com. If you have science questions, you can email me at louis@reducept.com. And for general questions, you can email info@reducept.com. You can find me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Louis Zantema. I hope you enjoyed the presentations, and we hope to talk to you soon.